Hello again, Maverick traders, and welcome out to your daily currency recap. This is Sankateran, and let's break down today's market price action. It's Tuesday, March the 12th. Let's get into it. As always, we're going to start with our top-down analysis, taking a look at broader markets, bringing it down into the currency baskets, and then take a look at some possible setups ahead. Let's get into it.
Do you want to be a professional trader? Maverick Currencies is the oldest US-based Forex and crypto prop trading company that will pay you for trading with our capital. Trade our capital and keep 70 to 80% of the profits. We are looking for traders just like you that are hardworking and motivated. Click the apply link on the top right of this video to see if you have what it takes. That link takes you to a 4-minute video that explains the trader position available, and you read a list of FAQs that answer pretty much all the basic questions you have at this point. After watching the video and reading the FAQs, if you're interested, fill out an application, then you'll watch the full-length recruiting video, and then schedule an interview with one of our traders. Are you our next trader?
So looking at our market analysis ahead, let's just jump right into the numbers and the news of the day. Let's just start with the news of the day. Again, we are seeing a rebound in the equity markets. And again, that's despite that increase in CPI figures this morning. So we had the US CPI report numbers this morning, and that was not weaker. It was a slightly higher. And initially, the equities did pull back, and the yields did rise in the dollar. We saw the yields and dollar did hold on to the gains, but the equities did rebound. So a bit of a mixed price action. But overall, I think this will keep a lid, keep a support on the USD here, as we're seeing a bit of an increase in those numbers, and as well as the bond yields that we continue to look at the price action for. Now, looking at the numbers here, let's take a look at the broader percentage gains. So you can see that the Kiwi is continuing to weaken here. The biggest move today was 0.37% on the yen, which again is not the biggest move. Overall, you can see that percentage-wise, it was not a big moving day. We got some volatility, but at the end, we was not a big percentage day. Now, taking a look at some of the patterns in the moves, we're seeing the yen pulling back again. Remember, we are seeing quite a bit of gains in the yen. So it's taking a bit of a backseat there, and the dollar rebounding. So that negative correlation is still working out. Swiss franc did rebound a little bit today. Overall, I think the biggest thing to focus on is things are still matching in the overall trend as the trend score goes. So overall, we'll break it down when we take a look at the currency charts. But so far, again, not a big day to really extrapolate a lot of the details out of it. Now, looking at the broader markets, you can see the S&P was up. So is the world stock. Crypto is pulling back. Again, crypto's been running pretty hot, and again, that's something we see in these parabolic moves in the markets where we could see some sharp pullbacks. After that number released as US CPI, the gold did pull back while the USD firmed up. So we saw a nice little correlation there as well, and the oil market just hanging in there down 0.5%. So overall, the bigger moves were in the crypto markets that we have seen lately. Bitcoin cashed down the most, but again, we're seeing some retracements. After a big run, these are the kind of price action that is very likely. So nothing out of the ordinary yet. The big question I'm still getting is that, are we topping out in the Bitcoin or any of the cryptos? It doesn't seem like it. Again, these are still shallow pullbacks. We'll find out shortly when we see that exhaustion gap. And whenever we get that gap, it's the indication that the market is turning lower or topping up for a short term, but nothing really as of yet. Now looking at our market score here, again, has anything changed? That's the first question we ask. It's still at a +3. Did anything change? The 20, the 50, and the 20-day moving average? No. Taking a look at the broader markets, you can see that these are still shallow pullbacks that are still getting bought. And again, that's just telling you that there's still more buyers and sellers out there. So that's really what's going on in the broader markets. Nothing has changed. Now, as far as the news event goes this week, again, we're starting off with some increase in the CPI numbers. And again, on Thursday, we have the PPI. So these two numbers, again, will likely to firm up the dollar and the yields a little bit more. But again, these are, back-to-back numbers. Again, core CPI seeing a little bit more increase, but the overall CPI was flat. So I think that's why we didn't see a big move off of this number. But again, it's not a number that is falling, that help the dollar to go down or help the yields to go down. It's not supporting that thesis here. So I think we're just going to continue looking at these news events, especially out of the US. Now let's take a look at currency analysis and take a look at where we are as far as the velocity score goes. So you can see that there's a whole lot of things in the middle. We like to be active or want to be more active when things are at a +3 or -3 or even a +2 or a -2. So what we are seeing today is counter trend moves here. Again, I like this trend to the downside. Guess what? We're getting a bounce here. The Canadian dollar, we like it to the downside. It's getting a little bounce here. Things that are not bouncing is Kiwi. So I still like Kiwi across the board. I will take a look at Kiwi charts here. And then we are seeing the yen pulling back here. But on the daily chart, we have a positive score. Today, like today, it had a negative score. So again, there's some just trades that just didn't pan out today based on that price action. So let's just jump right into our charts here and take a look at some setups. So as we take a look at the dollar here, I just want to take a look at dollar shortly here, quickly here. Take a look at the support area. So dollar is still supported in this range here. Again, we did break over here, but I think now we're just trading at this bottom of the range. So I'm still sideways to higher. Again, I'm not really liking this onto the downside until it really breaks the support area. Until then, again, I want to be buyer around the support, seller around the resistance. The yen is the one that we talk about. You can see that today's candle was not encouraging. So we will probably see a bit of a test here around this 50-day moving average. There is some support over here, but today's candle just did not look good. Remember, there's still a lot of speculation on this trade, what the Bank of Japan is going to do in the upcoming meeting. So I think we just want to be watching out for any volatility in the yen here. But for now, I'm on hold on the yen. So am I ready to pull the trigger on any of these currencies? So again, I just want to highlight that the trading score is telling me where something is going, and the velocity score again is telling me when it's going. So I still like this on to the downside. We are bouncing out the support, but again, I don't want to be buyer of that Swiss franc here. So any opportunity that I get, I want to be short. The question is this a area to short right now, or do we want to see a little bit more rally? But again, right now I'm not seeing this rolling over yet, so I'm on hold as well. Now we are seeing sort of a sideways price action. The euro, the British pound. Remember, this is the one currency that we started off this week and said I really like it on the short, long side. So the question is that has anything changed? We did pull back, but it's still holding this level here. So I still want to be buyer on the British pound here. Now Canadian dollar, again, what we are getting is sort of a bear rally. Still want to be seller. Are we ready yet? Maybe not. On a 4-hour chart, again, we have a nice trend line here. So if we want to enter, I have to have a tight stop here. As long as it stays below it, I like it. Now Aussie's kind of in the middle here, based on the broader markets as the risk sentiment goes back and forth. But take a look at Kiwi. This is the one that looks the weakest. So this is where you want to be. You want to be in things that are more stable or more consistent. So Aussie Kiwi is the one that I'll bring out the first one. This is again playing that relative strength and weakness. We have a support right here. This is again a bull pullback. After a breakout of the bull pullback, we got a support right here about 107. It's sitting at 107.41. I like this with the upside. On a daily chart, let's fix our chart over here. Okay, on a daily chart, the next level is 108.20. So I like this 4-hour chart. Looks like it's ready to break out yet. And then here we are. Our the breakout level here is going to be about 107.45 to 107.50. So really like the setup here. Now let's take a look at pound Kiwi. Probably it's a similar setup here, looking to buy above this resistance, which is about 208.20 area. Now same thing we can do in other currency pairs as well. Let's say if we want to be exposing myself to this dollar crosses, again Kiwi dollar, you can see that massive rally just fizzled away. So we want to be seller on any rallies that we see in the Kiwi here. So again, another setup that I do like here on the 4-hour chart is this little bear rally pattern that we're seeing here. And the next level of support is right here at about 161.16. So decent areas again where my risk is a lot smaller. My stop can be right above that 167.70. That's a 20 pip stop loss. But if I'm right on this one, but at least give me a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. Let's take a look at other currency pairs like the USD Swiss franc. See which one is really winning. In the shorter term, you can see the dollar is weak and the Swiss franc is strong. So not really loving that price action here. But I think we've got to be patient here a little bit with some of these dollar crosses. So here we are, the dollar yen. You can see that it rallied a little bit. Had a massive move and now having a bit of a rally. But realize that again, this could be just a short-term bear rally, but at this point right now, we are in between the 20 and the 50, not ready to pull the trigger yet. So if I just really take a look at what I'm ready to pull the trigger on, I think that's probably the Kiwi. I like Kiwi more to the downside. We can even take a look at Euro against the Kiwi as well. And again, that definitely looks better. So these are the ones that I like the best in the next 24 hours. Remember, we still have some data to go through, especially the PPI numbers on a Thursday. But meanwhile, I think markets are stable. Markets are, moving consistently, slowly but consistently. So on the stronger side, we have pound, euro, and I'm still keeping the yen in there because the trend of score is still pretty strong. The dollar's in the middle, but I like the Kiwi and the CAD to the short side, especially the Aussie Kiwi pairing. I'm liking here. The Aussie Kiwi to the long side. That is the trade that I'm looking for, along with the Euro Kiwi and the Pound Kiwi. So that's all for now. Again, keep the trades to a minimum. Trade the markets in front of you. Don't trade the market that you want to trade. These are slower markets. That's really how you want to trade less, but you will just stick with what's moving. And when things are not lining up, stay in cash. Thanks for joining. See you in the next one. Cheers.